Hello, how's everyone doing? I just had a moment because I was like, am I muted? So I wasn't, so I'm very happy. Welcome everyone. It's been a week. And I'm glad that you are joining us. There has been a lot going on. There is going to be a lot going on. And let's just take a second and realize that Mercury retrograde is almost over, and that we will be moving direct in a few, like in a day. Well, I think the 29th is technically when it goes direct. So we're getting into that last part of Mercury, redoing paperwork, having computer problems, all of those things. And if you've had any of those things going on this week, you can certainly put that in the comments, because I think it's been more than one of us that have had that happen. Very interesting energy. So we're going to do like we always do. We do have tonight with us Ron and Morgan and Sari. And I'm going to turn it over to Sari so that we can do a clearing, and then we'll talk a little bit about the astrology. So let me go ahead and turn it over to Sari.
All right. Welcome in, everyone. We're just going to ask everyone to find a quiet space, whether you lie down or you sit down. And we are going to just do a quick clearing exercise. I'd like you to close your eyes. Let's just take a couple of nice slow breaths together. Breathe in and hold. Exhale slowly. Breathe in again. And exhale. And as you relax, notice where you have tension in your body. Just soften that area. Relax into your seat, wherever you are. And we're going to imagine this evening that we are sitting in a rocking chair with a blanket, sitting next to a warm, crackling fire. And outside the window, it's snowing. And we're holding a mug of hot tea. And we are warm and cozy. You can almost hear the snowflakes as they come down outside, but it's just so quiet and peaceful. Sit by the crackling fire. As you breathe in this beautiful energy, imagine a soft golden light that gathers above your head. The light of gratitude and grace and divine nourishment. As you continue to breathe deeply and relax, allow this golden light to cascade gently all the way down through the body as you sit relaxed in this beautiful space with the rocking chair, the crackling fire, the snow coming down outside. It clears your thoughts. It softens your emotions. It dissolves tension. And it allows you to feel safe and protected. Say quietly or out loud to yourself, I welcome in the spirit of thanksgiving. I open my heart in gratitude. I release all energies that are heavy, misaligned, or they're no longer mine to carry. Feel the golden light flowing down the shoulders, your arms, chest, abdomen, sweeping away old stories, fatigue, and emotional residue. Every exhale releases what is complete, and every inhale fills you with gratitude. Now place a hand on your heart. Feel your heartbeat beneath your palm, the rhythm of life itself. Say to yourself, thank you for this breath. Thank you for this body. Thank you for this moment. I choose to walk in gratitude, grace, and peace. Let's allow this golden light to expand around you, forming a radiant field of appreciation and pure presence for the here and now. Imagine this golden light blessing every part of your life, your relationships, your home, your work, your spiritual path. See it extending outward to loved ones like a ribbon of golden light. Our last opportunity to clear. Say these words to yourself. May gratitude guide my words, my choices, and my actions. I am clear, I am grounded, I am grateful, and I am safe. Let's take one final deep breath in as we just sit for a moment in the rocking chair by the fire, hearing the crackling, enjoying the warmth, and just feeling loved and safe, and our hearts full of gratitude. We are now clear.
Hello, everyone. So has everyone been having an interesting week? What I want to say is we do have astrology that we can work with this week. And we have the advantage of knowing what the astrology is, so we can have it work in our favor. So I think what I want to do is, you've heard the expression of Doctors Without Borders, and I'm going to say that we are going to be having family without filters. So we do have Mercury retrograde going on this week. It did conjunct Venus earlier in the week, which was that was Monday. That was really a nice energy. And today we have Venus conjunct Jupiter, which is a really lovely energy in Scorpio. So Jupiter is helping out Venus, and Venus still has a few more days left in Scorpio. We are going to be getting an opposition by November 30th, where there's going to be a surprise. So hopefully everybody will be on their way back home and safe and sound. But I do think that we need to be aware of the energies coming forward. Mercury is still retrograde. And that's why I said it's being around family without filters. You have to be aware that some people are not going to be at their very best behavior, because a lot of times you're not with family. You revert to what you were like when you were 6 and 8 years old. You fall right back into those roles again. So step out of that energy as much as you can. I think it's a beautiful opportunity to utilize the Jupiter and Venus energy, but it's Venus and Scorpio. It's still a bit of people want to break dishes. And if you can recognize the things that are triggers for other people, you can avoid a lot of pitfalls that may be happening for you throughout this holiday weekend. I know that people have difficulty sometimes when they're around family. So it's like, choose the corner that has the least amount of stress in it, I guess, is a good idea to think of for your family. It's, where can you be in a place of balance in your whether you're visiting or in your own home. If you have to go to the bathroom just to get some time alone, do that, because sometimes just clearing the mind is just, okay, I just need a minute. I'm going to go off and I'll be back. And I think that'll help people a lot getting through this energy of the holidays. You can set some ground rules for family, hopefully, but normally they don't listen. At least that's been my experience, because grumpy old uncle will always be grumpy old uncle. So I would say, just go back and think of all the times from childhood and what you used to do that you used to enjoy as kids growing up. I can remember all of those things. And if you do that, I think that you will get the elder people involved in those older days, which they look at with fond remembrance and don't remember everything that was really happening at the time. So what I want to say is we can steer it with our energy, what's going on, if we use the Jupiter and Venus trine energy and smooth out the area between family and the deeper dark secrets, right? I hope that's making sense for some of those people out there that, it's a very interesting time to be going through this astrology. We have I did a card reading today. It's, feminine energy is like in Sagittarius. While we're in Sagittarius, Venus is very strong. And it's like all of a sudden I feel this energy of women being in charge and taking things on, and everything's fine. It's very positive energy that I got from the readings, and a lot of things are happening. And it's a time for us preparing for what's going to be happening in the future. I am very positive about what we're going to be facing going through the next 8 weeks. I think it's going to be interesting. I think we have to allow things to happen. And I think that this is a good opportunity for everyone to establish boundaries, with yourselves and with other people. So that is kind of what I'm thinking about thus far. Is there anyone want to contribute? Go ahead, Suri.
Yeah, and I'm finding like not responding, zipping my lip, and just smiling a lot works. But I actually watched a movie, and it's my all-time favorite, and it's an American movie. So if you're outside the U.S., you might not know this, but it's The Wizard of Oz. And my dog was sitting on the couch with me, and I was singing every song like I knew it by heart. You can see these looks like, has this chick lost her mind? But I went back to like 8 years old, and it was so much fun. And so if you can get people to watch, like family movies or things where people enjoyed, sitting together and having fun. Yeah, somebody, you watched Wicked last night, but it was really quite fun. And I haven't seen it in a while. So if you have a chance to watch a favorite movie or just connect with people in something that you have a collective joy of experience, and maybe it's listening to songs or something like that, or taking a walk in the dark, like after dinner, that's always nice, or taking the dogs out. So just something that kind of gets it out of drama and people being triggered.
I think we've been talking also about people jumping timelines, and I've had that coming this week. I've had a lot of downloads coming in. I had some very interesting messages coming in as far as because I was kind of told at one of the very first astrology readings that somebody was doing for me was, he also did numerology, and it was like, oh, it's almost like you planned your own awakening. And that's stuck with me so much. And I was kind of, the other thing I was kind of irritated about was I love astrology so much, but I didn't really dive into it until like my second Saturn return. And I was really, kind of regretting that. But then I had this epiphany Monday when there was a lot of stuff in my chart, because I was like, well, that's kind of a weird thing to just kind of pop in. I'm going to go check my chart and see what it says. Well, obviously it did show stuff in my chart about epiphanies. And it told me that I wasn't supposed to. I did actually plan my own awakening because I wanted to experience my life and not be all in the learning portion of the astrology piece of it, right? So we're not here to live the perfect life. This is life school. We are here to experience. So that is what I realized I actually did. And it really hit me that I did plan it this way, and that I should not feel bad that I didn't have more time to study the astrology, because it comes pretty naturally for me. But then it's when I realized that was the case for me, that I actually did plan things the way that they turned out, which then I was like, oh, okay. Then it just allowed me to accept things more easier, that things that have happened in my past, and was very illuminating and awakening. And was it fun? No, but I learned a lot, and I did have the experience, and that's what apparently I wanted. Was I wanted the experience of living a life, and then once my children were grown, going into this other energy. So that is what I will say about that. So we're going to go ahead and go on to pulling of cards for the collective. So I will let Morgan go first and put her up here. There.
You're on mute.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. So the question that we have is, what is Spirit's message for our expansion and expression of gratitude? And I'm pulling from this Energy and Spirit Oracle, which is by Sandra Ann Taylor. And the card that flew out was Elementals, and it's a number 12 card. And there we go. It's like all these beautiful nature fairies, and it says nature spirits and the 4 elements. And I got so like excited about this energy. I could just feel like the energy, like very giddy energy. So, and to me, that's definitely nature spirit energy. So when I looked at it, I saw the number 3 because it's a number 12. And then it talks about the 4 elements. So then I thought right away, or what came to mind was collaborating, like the 3 of Pentacles. It creates a good foundation and creates stability. And then they said, love and nurture yourself through nature. Clear your energy by going on nature walks. If you're not able to get outside, see if you can buy like a little potted plant and nurture that and spend time, or put it beside your bedside or where you spend the most time in your house, and just really focus in on that nature spirit through that little potted plant. And so this says nature spirits, the 4 elements, upright. This card represents a real power in the universe that few people ever think about. The elements are nature spirits that vibrate with the energy of the environment they come from. They include sylphs and gnomes from the woods carrying earth energy, water spirits from the lakes and streams, and fairies from the air. Fire spirits are tiny orbs of light that bring the vibration of the sun. Even if you aren't familiar with these spirits, you can call on them to bless you with the energy you need. Earth energy is good for grounding, stability, and wisdom. Air vibrates with the breath of life, communication, intelligence, and travel. And water brings healing, fluidity, cleansing, and change. Fire brings purification, light, activity, and creativity. These entities are always available to you. Consider which element power you want to tap and communicate with the sweet beings who can deliver you that energy. They're not just the stuff of fantasy. They are here for you now and always. And with that, I'm going to pass it on to Suri.
All right. What a beautiful message. And I pulled my card for the collective is from the Oracle, the 7 Energies. This is Colette Baron Reed, and this is a great deck. And I pulled the card, The Roots of Abundance. And it says, being stabilized by deep roots, anchoring yourself and feeling secure in your life, trust and believe in abundance. And it says, this card signals for you to pay attention to how you are anchored in the story of your life. Trust that you will be taken care of. The world is full of limitless potential and will nourish you according to your beliefs, regardless of temporary outer conditions. And I think, Dawn, you said this before. You are not a victim of life. Life happens for you, not to you, even if you sometimes slip in that way of thinking. If you are grounded and internally steadfast, nothing can uproot you. And you have the ability to manifest your intentions with ease. The message here is very simple. Your life is safe and secure, and your intentions are coming to fruition. All your hopes and dreams are firmly grounded and taking root so that you can reach for the stars in your life and expand your dreams further than you can ever imagine. So this is a time for trust. This is a time for just staying grounded, staying steadfast, keep doing the work, chop wood, carry water, and trust that the universe has your back, and that gratitude is a reflection of your inner being, and that if you focus on the heart and you focus on trust, all things will be okay. And I think sometimes we just need to hear the assurance, you're going to be just fine. And in this season of gratitude, I think with everything going on with the energy, it's a really powerful message to tell yourself, I'm going to be okay. I'm going to experience gratitude for whatever life is bringing me. And again, not always easy, but I think this is a beautiful collective message. And with that, I'll turn it over to Ron.
Well, thanks, Sheree. And that was really wonderful. I enjoyed that. I pulled the rune. This is flow. It's called Laguz, Laguz. And the flow in this case is the unseen powers are active here, powers that nourish, shape, and connect. The attributes of this rune are water, fluidity, the ebb and flow of emotion, careers, and relationships. This rune encourages you to immerse yourself in the experience of living without having to evaluate or understand. Going with the flow is what we're saying here. It speaks to the satisfaction of emotional needs, to the awakening of the intuitive or lunar side of your nature. For while the sun strives for differentiation, the moon draws us towards union and merging. This rune often signals a time for cleansing, for re-evaluating, reorganizing, and realigning. A rune of deep knowing. It may call you to study spiritual matters in readiness for self-transformation. Success now lies in contacting your intuitive wisdom and attuning to your own rhythms. A rune of self relating rightly to the self, the big S, that is, capital S. And this rune signifies what alchemists call the conjuncto, or sacred marriage. In fairy tales, it is the end where the hero and the heroine live happily ever after. So, the theme being gratitude and, love of everything that's going on. And yes, it's a rough time for some of us, but go with the flow. That's the entire message. Life is part of the flow. You pick this life and you're enjoying it, whether you know it or not. Okay, thank you. And I'm going on to Dawn.
And I unmuted myself. I'm so proud. I am drawing a card from the Cosmic Journey Oracle. This is Sagittarius season. Sagittarius likes to travel and likes adventure and all of those things. And for me, this is really saying that there's synchronicities out there. And it says synchronicity is a love letter from the universe across time and space. And I did a card reading today that we are also going to be getting messages from our ancestors out there. So I wanted people to be aware of that, to look for those synchronicities that may be happening from people who have already passed on, but who still want to be a part of our celebrations and Thanksgiving. So ahoy, there is magic afoot. This card asks you to make magic by looking at everything anew, from the understanding of the language of signs, symbols, and synchronicities. The question or issue at hand is not simply black or white. You're called now to look with new eyes, hear with new ears, and feel in new ways. A song might not just be a song. There's magic in the right lyric at the right time, talking to you. A tidbit of conversation you overhear could contain the exact message you need at this time. An animal may cross your path in a way that has symbolic meaning and a message for you at this moment. There's an interconnected entanglement in our world that simply is not cause and effect. and you cannot make sense of it with your rational brain. So when you are out, and I would say even out walking, out enjoying the lights, a lot of people start looking at Christmas lights at Thanksgiving. Think back to something that reminds you of previous times. Be open to messages coming in. Christmas carols bring back specific memories and times. So think of all those synchronicities of how your ancestors and angels might be trying to bring you messages. And I really think that is a beautiful part of what this time of year really brings in, this thankfulness message of being able to sit and break bread with each other and have enough for everyone to enjoy. So with that, I will turn it back over to Morgan.
Thanks so much, Dawn. Okay, so I pulled a card for Empress Evolution, and I pulled from the Animal Tarot cards. Mercury retrograde, sorry. And so the card that came out for you is this beautiful Ace of Cups. It's Ace of Summer. Okay. And it says this is the beginning of a new emotional experience for you. It may be the first blush of romantic love, the rebirth of a current relationship, or the awakening of spiritual gifts and insights. And I just felt this like really exciting, like rush of energy when I looked at this. It's very like fluttery feelings. This almost feels like a beautiful, like fresh spring day, even though this is about summer. But this is happening right away for you. These are just a lot of, I felt like a lot of like release from tension, worry, just like a lot of happiness overflowing feeling. It feels very exciting and fresh. And then they also said to me, they said, enjoying the fruits of your labor. Okay. So I feel like this is the end of a difficult time. Could actually be like a love coming in for you. And then they said, just eat a lot of fresh fruits, because there's something here about these oranges on the tree. So maybe implement a little bit of more organic, fresh fruits into your diet. That came up as well. So I hope that helps. Thanks. And with that, I'm going to pass it on to Sari.
Okay. Hello. I am going to read for Karen. Hi, Karen. How are you? And I think the last time I pulled 2 times where I got love messages. And tonight is a different message. This is again from the Oracle, the 7 Energies. And this is called the Land Between. All right. And you see kind of the split here. And I think a lot of us are feeling this split right now of the energies of the new earth, the new energies that are coming in. And that's why everyone is jumping timelines. And we were talking about that before we got on camera, just how exhausting it is, because most of us are doing it in the nighttime hours. So Karen, the key concept here is you're between 2 worlds, and you're kind of and I think a lot of us are in here. So you're in this space from what you used to be to where you're going and who your soul is becoming. So we're sometimes right in the middle of this divide, and it is not always comfortable. You know that you're called to it, and you can no longer be who you were, but you're not sure just yet what your next experience of your life is going to be. And I think, Dawn, it kind of talks to you. We were in different stages of life, and now we're moving into this next phase, and it's new for all of us, but we don't know exactly what it's like. So they describe it as being the chrysalis, and you're becoming the butterfly, but yet you don't know what's coming out on the other side just yet. And it says you just can't skip the messy parts of being in the chrysalis, and it's unknown, and it can be uncomfortable as you are moving to this next phase. It says you have 1 foot in the past, but you are ready to shed that version of yourself and become something new. And you are redefining who you are in context of this question, because you asked for guidance. And the process in between worlds is where things get really interesting. You learn how to manage fear. how to stay present in the moment, and how to see your way in the dark. So the question is, who's got a flashlight that can help you navigate in the dark? And you might have some people around you. You absorb the lessons offered to you with grace because you can't go any faster. And you must have patience, fortitude, trust, and humility. Once you've made this no man's land your home, it will be a part of you. Whatever you have set in motion will then manifest. So, Karen, you're becoming the butterfly. And I think Spirit's message is it's okay to be in between because you were on a path, and a beautiful path. So don't give up, and please continue the journey. Great message. All right. And I'm going to, Ron's up next, and he is going to pull for Gypsy Vixen, who is Laura.
Okay. Thank you, Sheree. Appreciate it. And Gypsy, I see that you've had a pretty rough week. I'm sorry to hear about that. Hopefully this rune will make some good news for you. It's the rune of harvest. It does have a span of 1 year, but it does show positive things coming to you at this time. A rune of beneficial outcomes. This rune applies to any activity or endeavor to which you are committed. Be aware, however, that no quick results can be expected. A span of time is usually involved, hence the key words 1 year, symbolizing a full cycle before the reaping, the harvest, or the deliverance. You have prepared the ground and planted the seed. Now you must cultivate with care. To those who labor has a long season, a long coming to term, this rune offers encouragement of success. Know that the outcome is in the keeping of providence and continue to persevere. Be mindful and patient is essential for recognition of your own process, which in this season leads to the harvest of the self, and that's a small s. So again, Gypsy Vixen, I'm hoping everything gets better for you, and whatever endeavor you have in mind, this rune indicates it will be successful. And with that, I'm going to pass it on to Dawn. And you're on mute.
I'm going to go, I'm not setting high expectations, but at least like one whole show, I'd like to be able to do it without, muting myself and leaving myself muted. So I am reading for Red Ribbons today, and 2 cards came out, and the first one kind of leads into the second one, which is where the message really is. The first one is called Flying. And the reason that I think this came out first was there's a maze down below, and mazes are where you can't see where you're going. You don't know what direction that you're going in, and you're flying high above in order to get a view of what your plan is. But if that's not where you're at, it can make it a little bit more difficult. Emotionally, you can be high above it all, but you still have to work in the 3D. And so what happened then is this card came with it. It's called Compass. So I thought that was perfect for you, Red Ribbons. So this is saying, as long as you orient your compass to true north, the direction of your higher power, you will never be lost. And how amazing is that for getting you out of that maze? Even though that you're looking at things from a higher perspective, like flying, you still have to manage what's going on in your world every day. So you're entering uncharted territories right now and can expect wonderful new experiences. And by the way, that's going to be happening very soon for a lot of people, just because we have Saturn stationing and moving forward. So the things that have been struggling and not moving now are going to have permanent solutions coming up for us. So that is something to really look forward to. Know that Spirit is working in your life. So even if you feel lost temporarily, it will be easy to find your way. Have faith and trust, for your compass with Spirit as true north will ensure that you'll never be lost, even on a starless night when all seems dark. So I do think that trusting in yourself and trusting in your own intuition is going to help you a lot in this. Yes, we don't know where things are going to end up. We are going through a maze right now, but we're getting more and more guided to the solutions that are going to be coming up for us. So I think this is a message for a lot of people. We're in a maze. No, we do have compasses available. And my dog agrees. So I will go ahead and pass this next on to Morgan.
Thanks, Dawn. That's pretty incredible because I'm pulling from the Soul Coaching deck and I'm pulling for Venus. And 2 cards came out for you as well, Venus. And this process of like believe and then on to freedom. So I think it's a matter of faith. It's a matter of like working on manifestation. And then like, I just heard like alley-oop, like here you go, like hopping on and away you go. So this is about believe in yourself, have faith in magic and miracles. If you can conceive it, you can achieve it. Our soul wants you to know one of the secrets of the universe is the power of belief. If you're able to imagine and believe that something good will happen, miracles can unfold. Expectations can fix thoughts, and options about yourself have created your world and your experiences. If you've had an unpleasant history, this often creates negative beliefs about yourself and the world around you. Know that the past does not need to equal the future. Your new positive concepts can create a fresh and exhilarating future. Simply believe it's possible. Visualize and imagine your life as you desire it to be. And most important, feel how good it will be and hang on for a great ride. The best is yet to come. And then it says, hang on for a great ride. And then after it came this freedom card. So this is a number 23, which is a 5, which is about changes. So this says break free, express yourself, and let your spirit fly. Flaunt your stuff, dance, laugh, explore, and go beyond the predictable behavior. Be daring. Fling your arms to the heavens in joy. Your soul wants you to know you aren't here to be ordinary, but to step beyond limitations and self-imposed boundaries. Don't allow yourself to be trapped by convention or the expectations of others. You have the ability to choose your life on your terms. Replace the phrase, I should, with I could, but I choose not to at this time. Perhaps you aren't always free to create the exact circumstances of your life, but you're certainly able to decide what meaning to give those situations. Select meanings that empower you, for this is the time to break free. And then the affirmation is boundless freedom surges through me. So I feel like this, you might have been going through a little bit of a test of your faith or understanding the power of manifestation and what a powerful warrioress that you are. And you're going to be taking off very soon here. So I hope that helps, Venus. Thanks. And with that, I'm going to pass it on to Sari.
Okay. I am going to read for Deborah. Can we get me up? There you go. And Ron, you're going to read for Erica up next. Okay. All right, Deborah, I know you were on another site, so thanks for finding us. And I'm pulling your card from the All-Seeing Heart Oracle deck. And this is a beautiful card for you, Deborah. It says letting go. And you can see the third eye, and you can see this in the shape of a heart. It looks like a lotus flower there. And it says, release what no longer serves your highest good without any guilt, and reclaim those lost parts of yourself with renewed love. The key words here are home, completeness, and slaying ghosts. So, Deborah, for whatever reason, you're going to be called a ghost slayer. And it says, when we constantly reminisce about the past, comparing then and now, it can leave us feeling incomplete and maybe unbalanced. It's time to honor the ever-present aspect of who you are rather than romanticizing a past version or past events. Experiencing homesickness also carries a message that a missing part needs to be retrieved so the magic or comfort of that place can be carried within. This card also relates to past emotional trauma or old memories that no longer serve you and just need to be released so that you can experience more completeness. So what I'm getting from this card is you're doing a lot of healing, Deborah, and you are integrating some of this past life or trauma or wounds that you're letting go of, because you no longer need to hold on to them as you are beginning to accelerate your expansion. And there is a nostalgic part of us sometimes that wants to hold on to the past because it made us feel safe. And I think what the guidance is go slay those old ghosts and get them out of, your head or your house, wherever they might be. But it just says, you can go within and simply say, I call back any lost or separate aspects of myself. And imagine anything that you have given to others, you need to reclaim that within you. And that's part of your healing process. So, Deborah, I think it's a beautiful card of letting go, of surrender, and that you are on the path to becoming who you've always wanted to be. And you are integrating some of this past emotions, past wounding, and you are integrating it so that you can move on and release it. So it's a beautiful card for you. And I wish you the best and send you lots of hugs as you go through this next phase. And I will turn it over to Ron.
Thank you, Cherie. Appreciate it. And like I said, I'm reading for Erica, and I just want to remind everybody, I am reading from the Book of Runes by Ralph Bloom. And Erica, what I pulled for you was a very nice rune. This is called Joy, okay? Joy and light. So this rune is a fruit-bearing branch. The term of travail has ended, and you have come to yourself in some regard. The shift that was due has occurred. Now you can freely receive the rune's blessings, whether they be a material gain in your emotional life or in a heightened sense of your own well-being. This is a moment in which understanding is transmuted from knowledge. The knowledge itself was necessary, but not sufficient condition. Now you can rejoice, having been carried across the gap by the will of heaven. Joyousness accompanies new energy blocked before now. Light pierces the clouds and touches the waters just as something lovely emerges from the depths. The soul is illuminated from within at the meeting place of heaven and earth, the meeting of the waters. There is a new clarity which may call for you to renounce existing plans, ambitions, and goals. It is proper, and I'm trying to turn the page here. Yeah. Fingers, and timely for you to do so. This rune of restoration of the self properly aligned with the big self. So aligning is important, and it heals not only emotional but physical when your body and your soul are aligned. So that's a very good reading, I think, and I'm now going to pass it on to Dawn. Yes, Dawn, you are muted.
Darn it. See, I'm doing too many things. I'm like, oh, I swiped it over and got the stuff changed. Okay. So I'm reading for Robin, and this is the Shaman's Dream Oracle, and this is Root Girl. It is the disowned self, hidden beauty, the need for acceptance and love. This is a part of you, the embodiment of a deeply flawed perception of your failures, manifesting as guilt and shame. But if you only would look into the Root Girl's eyes and see the beauty and the unmet need, your unmet need, you would realize that this part of you asks for your compassion and understanding. This part of you was born when you were wounded and were conditioned to believe you're not whole, that your expression of self is somehow too much or too little. You may have even inherited this creature from your ancestors. However, it was this child that came to be curled up at the roots of your sacred tree self. It's time to welcome her into your heart. When you do, everything you've been searching for becomes illuminated and your path lights up with renewed purpose. So this is recognizing and accepting. And for a lot of people, we are dealing with healing ancestral wounds. Many of us have things that we have been responsible for in our families. And I think that is very much this energy of what is going on for you. I think that you need to recognize that you don't need to be too hard on yourself. That I really like this, that your perception of your failures manifesting as guilt and shame. And I think that is it, that we need to change what our perceptions are. We are here to experience life. That means we make mistakes too. So I want you to realize that it's not all about getting everything perfectly. We're supposed to have bumpy roads. I certainly have been down that path myself, and I know a lot of other people have. So just recognize that this person actually does deserve to be recognized and nurtured, and that person is you. So I will go ahead and turn this over to Morgan.
Thanks so much, Dawn. So I am reading a card for Girl Gone, and this is from the Energy Oracle. Okay, so the card that came out for you, Girl Gone, is this beautiful 41 card, which is also a number 5, which is all about changes. And it says 7th chakra, Archangel Uriel. And when I looked at the card, in my mind's eye, I saw this as like she's holding a trophy, or there's some sort of a completion or graduation, a job well done. And then I heard be bold and be courageous. So I'm not exactly sure what you're going through, but it seems like you're completing something. And this says spirit connections, intuition, and inspiration. The beautiful angel Uriel, also called Fire of God, wears a brilliant crystal crown, vibrating with a passionate connection to the divine. She brings great power to your 7th energy center, which is called the crown chakra and is located at the top of your head. This card upright indicates an open and free-flowing channel of information and inspiration from the wonderful beginnings of the spirit world. From the wonderful beings in the spirit world. This could also be a time of great intuition for you and guidance from your higher awareness. So allow yourself to quiet your mind and listen. Now is a great time to get connected. The assistance from spirit is great. And whether it's the presence of an ascended master, a powerful angel like Uriel, or just a loving friend or family member in spirit, their love and willingness to assist is always there. They even open you to the akashic records, or alaya consciousness, the storehouse of all information. This connection is open now, and you will find that your own spirit and the spirits of those around you will be able to provide the answers you seek and blessings you desire and deserve. So might be time to get an akashic records reading from Suri, or it's just a suggestion, but yeah, crown chakra energy coming in. I hope this helps. Thanks. And with that, I'm going to pass it to Suri.
Okay, I'm going to read for Michelle this evening, and Ron, you are going to read for Willow. And I think this card is so beautiful, and I think it applies to most every single person on this call this evening. This is the Eye of Horus, and this is Healer, and this is from the Sacred Symbols Oracle deck. I just got back from Egypt, and so I have lots of jewelry and things that I bought that have the Eye of Horus. And so what this says, Michelle, and if you are here and this resonates for you, I think it's a big message. You are a healer. Fear not your own ability to be a light worker, like the lighthouse. or way shower for others. Drawing this card symbolizes that a healing in its highest form is available to you now. If you pull this card in regards to a relationship or a situation, please know that there is a powerful exchange of energy here. Meditate when you are wanting to heal on the physical, mental, and emotional and spiritual plane. And it says the symbol is the Eye of Horus. It's an ancient Egyptian symbol of protection, royal power, and good health. Horus was the son of Osiris, and Cyrus and Isis had Horus, and Horus was married to Hathor. I sound like a geek on Egyptian mythology or history, but the Eye of Horus has a lot of symbolism, but a lot of power. So for all you healers out there, it's calling all of you and all of us to be the lighthouse. And what a beautiful message that is. And with that, I will pass it on to Ron.
Thank you, Cherie. Appreciate that very much. And Willow, happy to be reading for you. I hope you're doing well. Haven't talked to you for a while. The rune that I pulled for you today is possessions. And if you could put me up on front, I could probably show it better to everybody. Oh, thank you very much. Okay, so there we go. This is the rune of possessions, all right? And this rune is a rune of fulfillment, ambition satisfied, love shared, rewards received. It promises nourishment from the most worldly to the sacred and the divine. For if the ancient principle, as above, so below, holds true, then we are here to nourish God. This rune calls for a deep probing of the meaning of profit and gain in your life. Look with care to know whether it is wealth and possessions you require for your well-being, or rather self-rule and the growth of a will. Another concern of this rune is to conserve what has already been gained. This rune urges vigilance and continual mindfulness, especially in times of good fortune, for it is then that you are likely to collapse yourself into your success on one hand and behave recklessly on the other. Enjoy your good fortune and remember to share it, for the mark of a well-nourished self is the ability and willingness to nourish others. So again, a very positive rune for you, Willow. I hope that resonates with you today, and I'm going to pass it on to Dawn.
Hello, how are we? I actually unmuted myself before I switched, so I was hoping my dog wouldn't be barking, so that's good. I'm going to be pulling for Siobhan, and what came out, this was the Shaman's Dream Oracle. This is called Deep Quiet. It's a number 11 card, meditation, stillness, clarity. And I don't know if you're going to be around a lot of people this weekend, but I would say if you are going to be by yourself, great. It's a great time to go in deep and explore. And if not, then I think there are times if you're going to be around a lot of people, I think you're going to need to take yourself off a little bit. And again, if there's nowhere else, usually you can go to the restroom and get a few minutes of quiet. So when deep quiet appears, it is a message from the cosmos calling you to stillness, to step outside the concerns of your everyday life. This does not mean to slow down and take a breath, although that is a good start. The cosmos is inviting you to go deep, to that place where the noise stops and there is only the vast emptiness of inner space. Listen to the still, small voice. Remember that you want to catch spirit on a whisper, not a shout. And it is only human to argue that you are too busy to slow down, that you don't have the time, the inclination, or the money for a retreat. Do not let any of these reasons get the better of you. Stop the world and enter the deep quiet before you come to a crashing halt. This is necessary for you. Everybody needs to take that moment of quiet space for themselves and just recenter. Sometimes it's just about recentering. So allow yourself time and honor yourself by being aware of what you need. It's not everybody else's needs. It's also what you need. And that should be who comes first. And a lot of this self-care that messages that we've been getting from everyone. So yeah, she says, I'm going to be needing an escape. Yeah. So a retreat might not be a bad thing. So with that, I'm going to thank everyone for joining us tonight. We weren't sure how many people we were going to have. We're delighted that we had so many people show up. And of course, you will see us next Wednesday, and we will put out the announcement regarding the full moon in Gemini that is coming up. It's a nice, powerful moon, and I really hope that you take advantage of that with us. I will be traveling, and I will try and pop in and send pictures and things like that when I can. And I'm going to be enjoying seeing family. So with that, I will say good night, and we all say goodbye to everyone here. Good night, everyone. Happy
Good
Thanksgiving.
night.
Bye.